You ready? All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started this evening. My name is Rebecca Grubbs, and I'm the membership coordinator at the Chamber. And I want to welcome you all tonight to the Candidate Forum. We're very thankful that y'all came out. Thank you to the candidates for agreeing to do this and for everyone who came out to support them. Tonight, the candidates that are participating are candidates for mayor, which is Mayor Marcus Rivera, Councilman Ron Still. Then we have candidates who are running for City Council District 4, which is Councilman Jimbo Moody and Wanda Highsmith. And then candidates that are running for City Council District 6, Councilman Ryan Bragg and Jana Black Myers. So thank you all again for being a part of this. These questions that are going to be asked tonight were submitted through Facebook. So we've received the questions, and that's going to be what is asked. I want to make it very clear that the Chamber is not endorsing any candidate through this event, and these questions were asked from the public. So we are simply a vessel asking the questions from your constituents or future constituents. So a few ground rules for this evening, and each candidate has already been aware of this, but I am going to remind you that you will have 1 minute to answer the question. Once that minute is up, you will hear the ding, the alarm that you heard earlier. If you continue to speak, I will respectfully interrupt you. We have a lot of questions to get to, and I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to answer those questions and those questions to be heard. Now, the audience, we are so thankful you are here, but we do ask that you are respectful of the candidates, that there is not to be any clapping or booing. If you so choose to do either, we will respectfully ask you to leave. Remember, this is not a debate. This is simply a question and answer forum. People are asking questions, and y'all are going to be answering them. Now, there will not be a chance for a rebuttal during the discussion. However, at the end, there will be 3 minutes that you will have to be able to cast your vision for Barnwell and address anything that you would like to address that maybe was said during the course of the questions. If you need to take notes during the questions, you absolutely can. But when the question is asked of you, we ask that you answer the question and save anything extra for the 3 minute rebuttal or 3 minute part at the end. Is everyone good with that? Yes. Awesome. Great. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and dive into the questions. And the way we're going to do this to make sure that it is fair for everyone is before each question, everyone's name has been put into a randomized list. And before each question is asked, it will randomly select the order that y'all will answer the question in. That will be changed every question. So it will not always be the same order. We want to keep this as fair as possible. So, and Tarek, if you will go ahead and shuffle it. And it will be, this question that I'm about to ask, the order will be Wanda, Jimbo, Ron, Marcus, Ryan, and Jana. So just remember who you come after. Okay? All right. The first question, and this is for everyone. What in your public or private life have you done that qualifies you for the position that you are running for? Ms. Wanda?
I have been in healthcare for 17 years, so I work closely with the public, very strong patient advocate. My job entails me to work with a team, doctors, nurses, anyone else in the healthcare field, to make sure that the patient is taken care of and their best interests are met.
Thank you. Mr. Jimbo?
All right, mine what makes me qualified. I think I'm very experienced, dependable, trustworthy, honest, good integrity, leadership. In Barnwell, I've coached baseball, Little League for many years. I've coached high school league for many years. I work in the industrial field at Alcroma. Been out there for 36 and a half years. So I'm dedicated to whatever I do.
Okay, Ron?
I'm a U.S. Navy veteran where you have to work together as a team. There's a lot going on a naval vessel, so a lot of things happen when you have a fire, drill, or whatever, and you have to know what part to do. You have to react very quickly. Also, I was a coach at Barnwell High School for 13 years, and you have to be, when you're out on the coaching field, you have to be able to make quick decisions. Things change quickly, so you have to be able to think quickly, move on your feet. So I think working together with a council Sometimes you have to make those decisions, you have to make them quickly in order to move forward. So working as a team to move on, forward is what it's all about.
Marcus?
Worked with AT&T for 17 years, invested in this community. In corporate America, you have to learn to work, as some of these other individuals stated, as a team. My job was to take stores that were trending in the wrong direction and either create a new team for that store to be successful, or come up with plans for that store to be successful. I started a Boys to Men program here in Barnwell, where we mentor at-risk males. I'm also a business owner here in Barnwell. So I feel like what we've done over the last 4 years has proven that we are a proven winner, and I'm just looking forward to the next 4 years.
Ryan?
As far as my public life, I would say I've been a firefighter, so everybody's working as a team. They're y'all brothers in arms, so you got leadership, you got people that's going to follow. You got to have quick thinking on the go. Publicly, again, with outreach with the church, we do a lot of outreach programs, all kind of stuff. Privately, I mean, I'm a good leader, but in my private life, I got 4 kids and a crazy wife. We gotta keep in line, so a good decision maker there, I guess.
Jana?
Well, I think that what qualifies me is I currently manage a team in IT, and I had a quick stint working with the city in Michigan, not here, but in Michigan. I also, like Ryan, we've got a household of kids, and that takes managing. Any parent knows that definitely takes some management leadership. Also, I am a team player. I think that every team member has a valuable input. What qualifies me too is I feel like I'm passionate about Barnwell because it's my hometown. So that makes me extremely motivated to want to, make sure that it's the best place it can be for my kids, your kids, all residents and visitors.
Thank you. And real quick, make sure y'all are speaking out that way. Y'all don't have to look at me. Y'all can look at the camera and speak out to the people that are here.
Looking at that
so
camera?
you can just look out. Y'all just,
Okay.
I don't want y'all to turn to me and then the people over there might not be able to hear you.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next question. Go ahead and, okay. Did it do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, so it'll be Wanda, Jana, Ron, Ryan, Marcus, and Jimbo. All right, next question is, what nonprofits are you passionate about in Barnwell? So, Ms. Wanda.
The animal shelter. I love the animal shelter. I love animals. I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
Yes. There's no better love than coming home and your dog's meeting you at the door. I think that is just the most wonderful, wonderful feeling in the world.
Jana?
I actually would say the same because the animal shelter definitely needs help right now. So that's something that I think we should focus on, is getting them some help and making sure those animals are taken care of and taken to loving homes.
Ron?
Y'all taking my answer. The animal shelter, I was just up a couple of weeks ago up at Tractor Supply trying to do some live feeds to get some animals adopted. And animals are a passion of mine. My wife and I, we adopt. As far as dogs, we've adopted racing greyhounds. We went all the way to Alabama to get a Boykin. So animals are very special to us, and that animal shelter is in a need of a complete overhaul. And so I'm very passionate about trying to do something, move that animal shelter to a better facility, or even build a newer facility. We have to incorporate all the municipalities in the county, but I think it can be done. So I think the animals deserve better treatment. I think the people who spend time there deserve better facilities and equipment to work with.
All right. Ryan?
As far as nonprofits, I would say like your thrift stores, your local thrift stores. I know, can we say places?
Yeah.
Okay, like Ned's Branch. My church, we had a thrift store and it just got overwhelming for us and they were willing to take it over. So as far as nonprofits, that kind of thing, we're always trying to give out and, help those that are in need. And I'm gonna follow suit, the animal shelter as well, because, we actually have called, or my wife has called the animal shelter. We've used them, so she loves cats, pets, whatever else, and it's a good thing, especially what they're doing with taking them off the streets, fixing them, giving them shots and all that, and then putting them back out there.
Yeah.
Or either have them adopted.
Marcus?
Mine?
I think Marcus is next. Yep.
I'm gonna be a little biased here because I have my own nonprofit, so I'm gonna say Boys to Men Inc. Barnwell is one of the, well, I'm gonna say this, we mentor at-risk males, 12 and 18. I would say most of us in this room at some point has been at risk. Our children are our future. We invest in those kids, and what we do is once we get them career ready, develop them, and we graduated 100% of our kids. Either they've gone into the military or they've gone into the workforce of college. So I'm very passionate about the kids, the youth. I work with them every day, and as much as I love animals, I have a toy poodle named Angel. I just have a little bit more passion for the children in our community, making sure that we set them up for success.
Mine is also the animal shelter. We were there several weeks ago, and it's a need definitely for Barnwell. I think they came up there with 31 dogs, and gave away 16 that day. They said they have 300% too many cats. Barnwell's overwhelmed with cats. And then Miss Barbara's got where they pick them up, take care of them, fix them, and take them back and relocate them. That's a very good program that we have here in Barnwell that she runs. So kudos to Miss Barbara for all this stuff. The other thing is the First Baptist up there. We have the little thrift store, the clothing store uptown. So that's my nonprofit.
All right. So if you get elected, those of you, if you get elected, what are your top 3 priorities that you would like to get done in your first year? And the order is Ron, Jana, Wanda, Marcus, Ryan, and Jimbo. So Ron, you're first.
My first priority is to bring unity back to this community. I feel like we're a divided community right now, and in order for us to move forward, the first thing we have to do is unify our community. We can't have 2 or 3 different groups pulling against each other. So unity to me is the key thing. Once that happens, I think we need to revitalize our downtown area. It's not in bad shape, but it needs some work. It needs some new awnings, some new windows and doors and things need to be put into our downtown stores, so make it more attractive. And of course, we need to try and bring in more industry and workforce. I think that's probably on everybody's priority list. And we just got to continue to work with Mr. Danny Black's here with us tonight. We've got to continue to work with the SCA, the EDC, the Barnwell County Council, and continue to try to recruit business.
All right, thank you, Ron.
industry.
Jana?
I agree with Ron because maintaining Barnwell's best qualities is a group effort, and we have to come together in order to get things done. My other top priorities would be housing availability. There are not enough houses available for people moving here for new jobs. Also, we need to lower taxes. Public safety, for instance, fighting the crime, the drug problem that we have, and speeding on neighborhood streets is one thing I'm very passionate about. We also need to focus on bringing in new commercial and entertainment opportunities, and also the beautification of Barnwell. I applaud the county for hiring retail strategies to give them ideas on the beautification of the circle, because that is something that is very, very much needed in order to attract people here and to want to go visit on the circle.
Ms. Wanda?
Yes, ma'am. My top three would be housing, of course, because we don't have any place here in Barnwell for people to move that actually want to move into the city. Second would be crime. And my third would be just something for, you have a whole demographic of people where you have stuff for really, really young children to do here in Barlow, and the older generation. You don't have anything for the people, say, 15 to 45 to do in Barnwell. And we really need to look at getting some type of, life put into the city, because there's really nothing here for that.
Marcus?
Public safety, just recently, we're looking to replace our chief of police, our entire command staff, when it comes to the Barnwell PD. So we have to figure out a way to restructure it and bring some unity, not only back in the community, but back in our public safety sector. Also, small business. Small business is the heartbeat to our community. I think we need to invest more in the small businesses here in the town, rather it be through some type of incentive program, some partnerships, etc. But 90% of our workforce are small businesses. We saw that in 2020 when things shut down. A lot of individuals who were employed went to entrepreneurship and opened up their own businesses. We also saw an increase in our in-home median. It went from 30,000 to 36,000. So really got to invest in small business and housing. With the addition to Time Group over here in Fairfax, it's very important for us to get ahead of the curve and start finding places that we can develop.
Thank you. Ryan?
The top three, I guess, first off, just to the upcoming years to finish the projects we already have open, projects that we already have, that's ongoing. First off is going to finish the fire department. Our firemen are a vital part of this community, this city, and without I don't want to say a top-notch fire department, but without a good fire department, we don't have good firefighters. We don't have good fire equipment. When we need them, we're not going to have them. Next, whether it be, upgrades to the park, whether it be at the amphitheater that we're thinking about on the hill behind the old sheriff's department, whether it be upgrades to, new sheds out there, new shelters for people to rent, to have birthday parties. And also our law enforcement. We're steadily upgrading our police cars, getting them new equipment. We're working on getting computers for the cars. That way it'll save time for the officers whenever they have an incident or they have somebody pulled over. They don't have to leave there, go to the station, write up their stuff. They can do it all right there in the car. Saves time, it's more effective.
Jimbo?
All right, mine is the community involvement, to get everyone involved with a committee, litter control, stuff like that. The police department uptown, we've bought new cars, now we're getting new computers for them, getting printers for them. That takes all the downtime up. When they go there and hand write a ticket, it takes 5-6 minutes. They print it on the computer, it's several minutes, so they can in and out. The community involvement, again, is the bingo nights that we've been doing. And one thing is the SCAT park, the sewer line coming from the SCAT park to the Barnwell, to our wastewater. We get that open going, we get our BODs down, and we can get more people here to work, more businesses in the city.
Thank you. All right, so this question is actually just for the mayoral candidates. Did you do it?
Yeah, it's gonna be wrong.
All right, so it'll be Ron and then Marcus. Considering Barnwell has a strong council, weak mayor form of government, what makes the mayoral position your choice of interest?
I think the mayor position is your focal point for the council. I think the mayor sets kind of the tone. He's the person that people come into town, that's who they're going to talk to most of the time. He's going to be at least the first person to greet most of the businesses coming in. We have to have a strong leadership from that perspective to set the groundwork and the vision for the council. And when you set that, obviously the council has to take, the leadership from that point. But I think it's important for a strong leader, much like a head coach. A head coach sets the plan in place, but on game night, he allows his assistant coaches to go out and do the coaching. But he's the one that approves it. He's the one that takes the knocks if it's bad. He gets a lot of praise if it's good. So again, I think, it all starts with the mayor.
Nice.
That's kind of a tricky question for me because I've never been a council member. I went in as the mayor, so as the mayor, I feel the mayor is a figurehead for the community. It's a person that's attainable, accessible, and level-headed. Like Councilman Still said, as head coach, I've been a head coach for a long time, so I understand about setting the tone and things of that nature. But take away the strong mayor and weak mayor, strong council. It's just about being a part of a team. We're all a piece of a puzzle, and regardless of the title, I just think that if we all do our job and do our service, it'll be best for the council.
Right, these questions are for the candidates running for city council. How will you work with the mayor, regardless of who that is, to improve Barnwell? And it will be Wanda, Ryan, Jana, Jimbo.
Considering I work in a team role daily in my professional life, I would listen. I would take, listen, do my research. I'm not one to be like easily influenced or anything like that. I have my own ideas and position on things. So when it comes down to working with the mayor, I'll listen, we'll discuss, and we'll figure something out.
Ryan?
It's leadership, it's working together as a team. You got input, I have an input. We need to sit down, we need to consolidate our choices and see what's best for the community, what's best for the citizens. I mean, we've worked hand in hand on stuff already. We get along. Outside of it, we're friends. Inside of the office, it's, I'm a councilman, it's the mayor. You have to have your roles, you have to have your leadership, you have to have your followers. If I don't agree, I'm gonna voice my opinion, and I would assume everybody else will do likewise. But working together, that's what I'm about. I'm about working together. If you can't figure it out, don't fuss, don't fight. Figure it out. But I'm simple.
Okay. Jana?
So I think that's a given that it's really easy to work with everyone. I don't see a problem with that. I think a lot of us want the same thing in the end. It's just that we differ in opinion on how to get there. We need to just basically just have civil and constructive conversations. Because like I said, maintaining the qualities of Barnwell is a group effort, and you need to come together as a group to get things done.
Jimbo?
Always come to the mayor, with an open mind, ask questions, receive information back. Always have the better of Barnwell in mind. So do whatever it takes, whatever teamwork role that he puts you in. You want to work to make Barnwell better.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're going to switch to some business questions. All right, and the question is, how do you feel the lack of Sunday alcohol sales affects business development in Barnwell? And it will be Jana, Ron, Marcus, Wanda, Ryan, and Jimbo.
I knew that was coming to me, and that's fine. I support it. I think that a lot of residents within the town, and my mother especially, she is crazy. She has so many ideas. She's like, that restaurant over there could be used, and we could go there for dinners, and have a drink every now and then. We toyed with the idea of having like a bistro type place where you could come in after work for happy hour, coffees, things like that. I think that is something that we are missing. And I know there's some regulations where it can't be close to a church and certain things, but for those who want to indulge responsibly, I don't see an issue with that. I support it.
Okay. Ron?
That's one of those issues that I don't really have I guess, a pro or a con on. I think that should be left up to our citizens to make that decision. For me, I guess if I got to pick a side, I would probably say I am against it, just simply because I feel that you have six other days during the week that you can go out and drink at restaurants, and if you want to drink on that seventh day, I feel like you could drink at your house or go over to a friend's house, have a cookout, whatever, and you can buy it on Saturday night and take it home with you and have it for Sunday. That's my personal feeling. So if some of the businesses around here wanted to go private, I know like out at the Sweetwater Country Club, you go out there and you can ride around and play golf and buy beer. So I think but to me, I think it should be left up to the citizens of Barnwell.
Marcus?
Jimbo and I got together a couple of years ago, and that's why we had a referendum to add Sunday sales for beer. I'm in the business of business, and whenever you're looking to attract businesses, the last thing you want to do is put a restriction on how and when they make their dollars, right? So I agree with giving the citizens the options, but I think it has to be the option of the citizen to say, hey, this is available to us. I don't have to go to the restaurant and drink on Sunday. It's just kind of similar to the situation we had with flag and tackle football. It's available, but it's up to you in regards to whether or not you want to take advantage of it. I think it hurts our businesses tremendously. If I'm looking to the area to invest and there's some type of restriction or something that's not going to allow me to make dollars on a certain day, then I'm probably not going to invest in it.
Okay. Wanda?
Yes, I am pro alcohol sales on Sundays. We live in the South, and you know, sports are a big thing on the weekends, and that is a huge moneymaker could be a huge moneymaker for the community if you have places where people could actually go and, you know, responsibly, you know, have a drink or two. As far as mine went blank, but I'm in favor of it. I think it would generate good revenue and bring a lot of business to Barnwell County.
Ryan?
I'm gonna say no. I don't like the idea. You leave it up to the citizens to make their own choice. If your business is relying on alcohol sales, they're in the wrong business. Whether it be a restaurant, I mean, unless you're a package store, you know, that sells liquor and stuff. But yeah, you know, I'm a good old country boy. You don't hunt on Sundays, you don't drink on Sundays. Yeah. But of course, it's the citizen's choice. I'm just a citizen. You know, if it gets passed, it gets passed. I'm not, you know, gonna be mad either way, but no, I'm not for it. You got 6 other days of the week to go drink if you want to. Have some left over for Sunday. But like Ron said.
Jimbo?
The alcohol sales, we had a lot of people to approach us about this, thinking, you know, they could bring a lot of people in on Sundays to bars and uptown to watch football and stuff like that. We put it up for the vote and everything, and, you know, it lost. You know, so the majority in Barnwell, they don't want it. You know, but a lot of people approached us. You know, I don't know if the people came out and voted for it or not, but the amount of people that wanted it obviously didn't go vote for it. So the citizens of Barnwell did not want it.
Okay. All right. What is one thing you wish to improve about the business climate in Barnwell? And it will be Jana, Marcus, Jimbo, Ron, Wanda, and Ryan.
About the business climate, can you elaborate?
How would you like to improve businesses in Barnwell or bringing businesses to Barnwell?
I really don't see, or I'm not aware of any issues about businesses in Barnwell. I will always support small businesses. I would always encourage people to start a small business and encourage people to support these local businesses. The only issue that I have personally heard about is that we need to ensure that when starting a small business, there's not too much red tape or, just to get started, or too many expenses to just stay afloat. That I feel like the issue that I am aware of is just having that local support towards the businesses.
Marcus?
Small businesses, absolutely. And a lot of you may not know this. So industry in the city of Barnwell, as far as land is concerned, we don't have much land left to develop at an industrial site. So for me personally, I think we have to take more of a regional approach. That's why we fought for 2 years working with Danny and his team and the Commerce, trying to get this expansion out to the Scat Park so that we could try to, be a little bit more appealing to companies looking to invest here. But it has to be more of a regional approach. As far as the city is concerned, like I said earlier, we just got to invest more in our small businesses and make sure that we're open and available to partnerships. I also agree with you, it has to be easier. We make it so difficult for these small businesses to come in town. And one of the things is that the drive-in movie theater, we really push that guy out.
Thank you. Jimbo?
The small businesses, that's what mainly we have inside the city. We need to keep the appearance up on the circle, and it's beautiful right now. The painting and all that, we need to keep all that up. We're working with the Southern Carolina Alliance, the EDC, good working relationships with them to keep bringing these businesses into the city.
Ron?
One of the first things I think we need to do is figure out how to stop losing business out of the city. I looked at a recent study, and we're letting what they call leaking about $28 million slip out from the city of Barnwell and go to mainly Aiken. So we have to figure out how to talk with these businesses, get them to change some hours, stay open a little longer, some of those type things. Kind of maybe swap their business plan around a little bit. Maybe have some every quarter have some type of couple of nights a week that they stay open longer, bring in some type of guest. I know we're doing a little thing with BDA with the circle on Thursdays, but the business is what opens. We need to open those businesses up. We also need to look at giving them incentives. Small businesses, we give large industries incentives and tax breaks and things.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Wanda?
Yes, ma'am. Small business is the heartbeat of any small community. And if we would make it easier and be more accepting of all businesses, not just certain businesses, I think that Barnwell would flourish more.
Okay. Ryan?
Small businesses are what make a town, especially if you're a small local town. I know me and my wife, whenever we go out of town, we try to hit mom and pop stores. We want to shop local, and that's what we're about in the city here. We've lived here all our lives and want to shop local. As far as bringing them in, I love seeing them come in. We just had a new one come to the circle here recently. But like the mayor said, we don't have much real estate left. And the spots that we do have, it's dilapidated buildings and new businesses coming in. They don't want to pay all that money to have it tore down because of asbestos or whatever the other problems may be. So maybe we can look as a council and look into the future and see if we can come up with a way that we can, take in some of that payment, some of that, burden off of the business coming in. If we can, link up and work together to help them. And maybe, we ought to see more coming in, see some more of these old buildings being put back to use.
All right, next question, and this is kind of an overflow question from the other one. What do you envision needs to happen in Barnwell to facilitate job creation, but also keep from, like Ron said, the leaking happening of people leaving and going elsewhere? Marcus, Ryan, Ron, Wanda, Jana, and Jimbo.
First, understand the workforce. You have different types of workforce right now. These kids in the last 5 years or so, they don't really care about how much money they make. They really just want flexibility. They want to be able to do what they're passionate about. So when we're going out recruiting industry and things of that sort, we want to make sure that we're recruiting industry that our workforce here locally would be willing to work for. I think industry is great, but I think that it's also a thing of the past when it comes to working in industrial. If you go on some of these sites now, you're looking at usually workers running anywhere from 40 to 60 years old. So we have to figure out a way strategically to bring in businesses that are appealing to today's workforce.
Ryan?
I'm gonna say not only appealing to the workforce, but it has to be appealing to the residents, to the people that's shopping. You gotta have something that, I mean, if you got 100 clothing stores, I mean, what's the use? You gotta have you gotta have diversity of this, that, the other, for them to, want to go to your place. You gotta have, a little bit of everything.
Ron?
Yeah, I think, as far as like Ryan said, diversity is the key here. I know we have several businesses that are uptown now. One just moved up here just a few days ago. But we also have a business that's bringing back a little restaurant and over the top of a few motel rooms and things of that nature. But some things we're missing in Barnwell that I think we need, and I think would go well, is things like a small sporting goods store. Something that we have some coffee shops that are starting to flourish a little bit on Main Street. But we need some home good type stores. Like you said, the diversity is a big thing, but we got to give them some type of incentives in order to come here and take that chance. Like I was saying earlier, when we're dealing with industry, we're dealing with them, we give them in lieu of tax fees and things of that nature. And so we got to look at trying to help our small businesses that way.
Wanda?
Yes, could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Should I stop?
Okay, yeah, stop it. I'm going to start again. What do you envision needs to happen in Barnwell to facilitate job creation and also keep the leaking from happening for Barnwell people going elsewhere?
Oh, yes. Young people tend to leave Barnwell and not come back. And the biggest thing that I've heard from people is there's nothing to do here. There's nothing, to keep them here. There's nothing here that's interest enough to keep them here. We have to go an hour or better to go get entertainment for children, go to the movies, go shopping, go to a Dave & Buster's or something like that. And it would be nice if we could get that type of stuff here in Barnwell.
Jana?
So, we need people. The population in Barnwell has dropped 10% in the last decade. We need people to come to Barnwell to make businesses want to come here. We need to, SCA has worked hard to get 3 new businesses to come in that will provide jobs. I know we lost Cascade, which that caused us to lose around 130 jobs, give or take. But we also need people to fill the jobs that we currently have available. And, but it still all boils down to, we need to figure out a way to have attainable housing for people to come here, to bring up the population, work on the tax structure, and have businesses more interested in relocating to Barnwell to provide more jobs.
Jimbo?
All right, the first thing I think we need to do is give them a tax break, X amount of years. That way they come in, they see how to get their business up and running. Next thing we need to do is the workforce. Our workforce here is very limited. Maybe we could offer some type of training to keep our people from going out of town. Just get businesses that appeal to the people in Barnwell, and that's it.
Okay. All right, next question. As Ms. Wanda stated, young people are leaving and they're not coming back. So how would you incentivize people to not just stay in Barnwell, but also maybe start a small business or use their talents to help Barnwell grow? And that would be Ryan, Wanda, Jimbo, Ron, Marcus, and Jana.
You have to give them the opportunity. You know, I mean, I don't know what everybody's passion is, what their talents are, but you have to give them that opportunity. If they come to you, help them out the best you can. You know, influence them. You know, stand behind them. I mean, if people's going to leave, they're going to leave. You have to want to stay. You have to want to see a change. You have to want to help, and reinvest in the community that helped raise you. I mean, simple as that.
Okay. Wanda?
Yes, in regards to, the main thing that you want to do as a community is you want to be welcoming. You want to make people feel welcome when they come here or while they are here. The biggest thing I think is, I keep freezing up. I'm not used to doing this. But the biggest thing that I think is they have to have the opportunity, and there has to be something here that makes them want to stay here. You have to have something attractive, like they said, small business loans, making them easier to get, maybe, something along that line.
Okay. Jimbo?
When young people come to you, give them a mentor, give them somebody that's done this before, they can go out and give them guidelines to say, this is what you need to do here, this is what you need to do there, you need to do this with your taxes, and this is the workforce you need to look for. It's just a mentor.
Ron?
Well, I teach out at the Career Center. I think one of the first things we have to do is we have to try to find how the young people, what their interests are, to provide them and give them the education for a career. They go off to school, and right now I go back to industry. We talk a lot about small business, but if we don't have industry in our community, then small business will not survive. Industry brings people in. People bring housing. Housing, we have contractors. It puts people to work. And also, when you bring more people in, more people are diverse, they're going to start seeing different needs and want to open up these small businesses. That keeps that leaking that we were talking about earlier. So again, give them the education, but give them the opportunity to stay here. And that we've got to give them good paying jobs. They will not stay here and work for $10, $12 an hour when they can go and make 30.
Marcus?
Take advantage of the resources that we have. SCDO trains individuals and they actually pay companies to have their individuals trained up. So take advantage of those resources. There's a group that incentivizes individuals to move, and they actually pay them to move to your area, and they have these work at home jobs. So figuring out a way to educate, especially the younger workforce, on jobs that they can work from home and be productive and make a living doing so. And I think that allows them to free up some time to be able to travel and do all the other stuff that they want to do. But take advantage of the resources that we have in some of these incentive programs that'll help grow our community.
Jana?
I agree with the remote jobs, because that's currently what I do, and that's what gave me the opportunity to actually move back to Barnwell. And a lot of people are moving into that remote field, and it's convenient for everyone. But I do think that we need to be a little bit more forward thinking, and we need to look for ways to ensure that the future of Barnwell is economically stable, that it's a vibrant, attractive place for our future generations to want to remain in Barnwell.
Okay. Recently, the council voted to amend the zoning to exclude entities such as the vape shop around the circle. What other ways do you envision the council or mayor can improve the circle? Jimbo, Ron, Wanda, Jana, Marcus, Ryan.
The vape store, most of that business is not good. It's hurting our youth. That's what's wrong with us today, our drug use. I don't know percentages of their money that they make, but I promise you, that's not good money. That's not good for us. You come up to the circle and you come around it and you see a vape store. I mean, come on, who's wanting to put a business beside them? I mean, you got beautiful businesses like Carol's over there, the jewelry department used to be there. You know, everything's starting to come back, and then you come around and you see a vape store. That's one thing, and I'm sorry, that's leading to drugs. That's it.
So you have a few more seconds. How would you plan to change, to improve the circle?
Improve, new businesses coming in.
Okay.
Up in, just like we just got where the vape store was at,
Gotcha.
right there.
Okay. Ron?
I think the first thing we need to do is, I said earlier, would be to try and revitalize downtown. There's an organization out there called Main Street USA that is a really good organization to pair up with. And they've went in some places they've already done this, was in Greenville and Florence and Inman. And they went in and really helped revitalize and change the look of the main street, USA. In a small rural town, Barnwell, we need a facelift. We need new awnings, we need paint, we need murals, we need, like I said earlier, new windows and doors and things in these buildings, and that will change the appearance, and that will give us what we need, I think, to attract more businesses. We're actually doing pretty good right now. When I look at down Main Street, we're pretty full with the businesses, but we need to do something for tourists, so it looks good.
Wanda?
Yes, ma'am. Downtown definitely needs a facelift. But I think another way to get downtown revitalized is, I know we have those, is it First Thursdays or Thursdays? Have more events like that downtown to bring more people into the city, just to look around, maybe somebody will see something, oh, this would be a nice place to open up a shop, this, that, and the other. It'll show that you have, like, you know, the population up there, you have people coming in, look around. But I think that Thursday's idea was an awesome idea. Just have different groups come in, maybe you have a jazz night or something like that, just something to bring an entertainment thing to downtown. Sort of like Aiken.
Jana?
So I would love to see the owner of the kind of looks to me condemned old bookworm building and the ones next to it. Would love to see them do something with those 2 or 3 suites. It's kind of an eyesore at this point, and it's just sitting there. I would like for the city to possibly reach out to the owner and kind of check in and say, hey, what are you doing with this? You know, maybe that'll get some things started. Maybe they would decide to sell and someone else would take that opportunity to put some businesses in there. I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done to those buildings, but that right there is a huge eyesore. And a lot of people visit small towns because of the aesthetics, the appearance of it. And right now, the Circle, to me, does not have that appearance. The festivals are a great idea. It is getting more people out there, but you still need to have other businesses on the Circle for the people visiting these festivals to be able to go into, you know, and have a reason.
Marcus?
We've done some things that I think that has improved it, but of course the downtown area could use some more improvements. We've added internet around the Circle, which we have kids coming up on Thursdays and Fridays, so they have access to internet capabilities. So families that don't have internet can come sit around the Circle. We just applied for this facade grant. I think that'll help the downtown businesses as well. Variety of businesses, different types of businesses. Honestly, I feel like we need a restaurant downtown. But I go back to that Sunday alcohol sales. I think that kind of hurts the business that wants to open up down there, in a sense. It may or may not. But just continue. Councilman Still and Lynn did a great job of having the trees trimmed up. The downtown Circle area looks really good down there now with those trees being trimmed. Alice and this team did a great job. Just continue to try to move the downtown area forward.
Ryan?
I think downtown looks great right now. I mean, with the trees limbed up, you can see the lights, real beautiful at night. I like what the newspaper and whoever else has got the other building, they got the nice lighting on the outside, real beautiful. I'm gonna piggyback on the mayor, you know, we got that facade grant. We're gonna start helping some businesses downtown, you know, clean up, beautify the front end, the stores. And I'm gonna mention what Jana brought up with bookworm. You know, we went down that path before, but nobody wants to do anything with it. If we could get a hold to it, I would love to tear it down and make parking. You have no space downtown when there's events on the circle, anything downtown. There's no parking. You have to park behind Subway, park over there by Animal Advocate, something.
Okay. All right. Lemon Park is almost paid for. What other projects do you envision being supported with the hospitality tax? That's Jana, Ron, Wanda, Jimbo, Ryan, and Marcus.
I'm gonna go back to the beautification of Barnwell and city limits, definitely the circle, and can get more appealing and attractive. And I'm obsessed with palm trees, and I think we're close enough to coastal cities that I would love to see some palm trees, some more palm trees be thrown up. To me, that's just aesthetically pleasing. So I would want to focus just overall on the beautification of Barnwell.
Ron?
First thing I'd like to see the hospitality tax go to, and I was recently voted down to use a $50,000 grant for this, but I would like for us to have an amphitheater down at Fuller Park, Fuller Park. We have a great location. If you go down where the sheriff department used to be and overlook that area, there's a beautiful spot down there. I think it would bring in people from the outside. There would be nothing like it within probably about 40, 50 miles of this area. It could be used for weddings. It could be used for choirs for church. It could be used for Sunday afternoons, just somebody like a Gary Brantley or someone setting up down, playing a little music just to relax while you're walking around. You could even bring in some War and Pea, or like we had the Thursdays up on the circle, could be also down at the
Thank you. Wanda?
Yes, I think the hospitality tax should be used for beautification of Barnwell, and to also highlight some of our historical areas here in the city. I love history, so I think that would be a good idea, just to beautify the city, downtown, and just highlight some of our historical stuff.
Okay. Jimbo?
The beautification of the city will be first thing that we need to do. Second thing was the amphitheater that we wanted pretty bad for the up at Fuller Park. Beautiful location out there. Plus, once you do that, there's other things that you can put out there to have pickleball. You know, have a permanent movie thing for the kids. In other words, you would have the splash pad. You got the barn up there where they have the sales already. You would have the amphitheater for kids. I mean, for the adults. Then you could have another bingo night right there for the kids. You could have everything in one park. And that's what we need to do, to utilize this park that we have. It's a beautiful park. You go out there and walk around and look at it.
Ryan?
Hospitality tax, after, you know, any upgrades to the parks that need to be done, you know, we can do that. You've got amphitheater, you got Lemon Park, Fuller Park, you know, all the small parks, anything that needs to be done to beautify those to draw, you know, more people to them. As far as Fuller Park goes, you know, including or adding an extra shelter. So you got one on the back side of the splash pad. So if a family or somebody has the one rented for a birthday party, whoever's at the splash pad, parents, kids, you can go to the other one. You know, you got more space. Amphitheater, great idea. Bring in choirs, singers, you know, shows. Circle Theater can do shows down there. I don't know, it is, you know, endless, you know, things that you can do with the money, you know, just drawing in crowds, just drawing in.
Marcus?
A multi-purpose recreation facility, / community building. Right now, if we want to use a community building, we got to go to Blythe. The last time I checked, this was Barnwell County. We should have a community building in Barnwell County. and recreation, something we're able to use 7 days a week. Our youth, our middle age, our elderly, they're always saying that there's nothing to do. With the facility as such, we give them something to do 7 days a week. You're talking about being able to control the climate. So now we're playing volleyball outside at Lemon Park. You have a facility as such, you're playing volleyball on the inside. Right now, kids are going to Fuller Park on top of the hill that no telling what's going on up there. But now when you have an indoor all recreation facility, now it's in control of the environment. So I think we need to really invest in a recreation facility / community building. Bring in business partners or what have you. We have a room where we can sit and have business meetings. As such, we shouldn't be in the museum. We should be in a place that's owned by the city.
All right, so we are live on Facebook, and we have asked for people to submit questions from Facebook. So the next two questions are going to be from some of the questions that were submitted live during the event or during the program. So the first question is, who currently volunteers in Barnwell, and what organizations do you volunteer with? Jana, Marcus, Jimbo, Ron, Wanda, and Ryan.
Well, I do volunteer when and where I can. I'll look at the camera. We moved back to Barnwell about 2 years ago, so we spent some time getting settled. Right now, I am coaching a flag football team, although my husband has kind of taken over as head coach. But we also volunteer, when and where we can. I'm always open to suggestions. I did volunteer to do something I am excited about, which is at the Y with the Haunted Trail. I'm very much into Halloween, so I'm very excited for that. But again, when and where I can, feel free to ask. I'm always willing to volunteer and get out the house since I work remotely.
Marcus?
My wife was here, she'd tell you I do too much volunteering. She didn't want me to start charging. But I volunteer for the recreation department. I've done volunteer basketball coach. I'm doing flag football right now. My Boys and Men program, we volunteer. We adopted a highway here in Barnwell, so we do that. So we stay busy. Right now I'm a part of a health group, which is focusing on men's health in the community. So I'm volunteering my time around that too, raising awareness around men's health.
Jimbo?
My volunteer, I like to help coach, so I do a little bit of that, did some of that. The litter control, I spend a good bit of time helping the in-laws, because, they head up all that stuff to help them do the litter. And I've helped Miss Barbara and them with the animal stuff not too long ago, so. Because litter is a big problem here in town.
Ron?
Well, I spent most of my time years ago during the volunteer thing. Jimbo and I both, we spent about 14 years on the Barnwell Baseball Association board and coached during that time as well, coaching a lot of youth sports. Here lately, I haven't been involved in a lot of coaching, but we've been involved with the animal shelter, trying to help them out. Also with the litter control, as Jimbo mentioned, I've been involved with trying to pick up trash and keep the city clean. But if anybody needs some help, I'm here to help anybody. But right now, I'm kind of out of the coaching and don't have any kids or grandkids right now to be involved really. But I'm willing to get back in at any time.
Wanda?
Yes, as of right now, I'm not doing any volunteer work because of my hectic work schedule. But prior to my work schedule getting so hectic, I volunteered with Barnwell Scarlet Knights a lot. But I am willing to get out and help anyone that needs help with anything. I'm planning on lightening my workload, so I'd be open to volunteer, especially anything with animals, anything with the younger kids. I'm all for it.
Ryan?
A volunteer time I've spent, I don't know actual years, but as a volunteer firefighter, it does take time, a lot of time off your days and all, but volunteer doing outreach programs with the church, litter control here in the city. I did coach rec soccer one season, which was way out of my wheelhouse. but it was for the kids. I enjoyed it. I enjoy all kind of volunteer work. You know, I'm not scared to get my hands dirty, feet dirty, whatever. If you want some help, call me. If I ain't got nothing to do, I love to get out the house. I'll do it with you.
This is another question from Facebook. Should Barnwell have a mayor-strong form of government? Why or why not? Ron, Ryan, Marcus, Jimbo, Wanda, Jana.
I want to make sure I understood that. A strong mayor, is that the question?
Correct. Should they have a strong mayor? Why or why not?
No, I don't believe in a strong mayor form of government at all. I think strong mayors has too much authority if they use it the wrong way. I believe in sitting down, working together with a team of people, like with the council we have now, and you come and collectively, it takes 4 people to come up with and make a vote to pass something. A strong mayor can pass things on his or her own, and if you get the wrong person in that form, that power can go to someone's head and they can start making decisions based off of other influences out there as far as people, friends, money. So I think the best form of government we have is a strong council, weak mayor form.
Ryan?
You know, if you got a strong mayor, weak council, why you need a council? You got one individual making all the choices. You know, either way you look, you know, it could be bad, it could be good. You know, I personally like the strong council, weak mayor, if you have to call it that. To me, it's a team. It's a team effort. Everybody has to collaborate on one thing to get something accomplished. You can't go in with an agenda saying, I want this done, I want that done, because it's not going to happen unless you have everybody on your side, unless everybody collaborates together, you know, to get it done. It's a team effort. It's not a one-man show.
Okay. Marcus?
When I was first elected, we were at the voter registration office that night counting up the tallying the votes. And a councilman said, he says, it doesn't matter if he wins, we'll outvote him every single stinking time. And I sat there that night, and we got back to our headquarters, and I did a speech, and I said, well, if that's going to be the case, then we'll make it strong mayor, weak council. I had some conversations with some individuals around the state, and I felt that it would be more fulfilling for me to be able to work as a team player than it would be to try to take it on myself. So since then, I've never even had that conversation again. I think we're in the right form of government that we're in right now. I think that being able to work together, all of the citizens in the city of Barnwell is being represented.
Thank you. Jimbo?
I like the strong council, weak mayor, because you have 1/7 of them in there. In other words, you can give your input, she can give hers, Marcus, Ron, myself, Dana. In other words, you have your input on it, and if 3 others agree with you, then you go that way. If not, then you get outvoted. But it's a team effort. You know, you come together, you listen, you give your thoughts on it, and vote your way that you think's best.
Wanda?
I also agree. I like the strong council model better. Working as a collective, you can get more things done. You will have more cooperation that way and less controversies, drama, that type of thing. So everybody working together, get things done.
Jana?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just agree to all of the above.
Okay. Considering the majority of elected officials in Barnwell are men, how will you support women in business, and how will you create a seat at the table for them when making decisions? Jimbo?
Can you repeat that last part?
Yes. And how will you create a seat at the table for them when making decisions? Jimbo, Wanda, Marcus, Ryan, Ron, and Jana.
Women, you know, today, you know, we have Miss Alicia Davis on it, we have Miss Peggy, 2 very, very smart women, you know, on there. I've listened to them every day, because money, Miss Alicia, she it's hard to beat her. She's got her ducks in a row, buddy. If you want something level-headed, you Miss Peggy, she's just as level and straight-headed as you want to know. I mean, women are taking over a lot of things. The CEO of our firm is a lady now, and we're national, I mean, world company. I mean, so I have no issues working with women.
Wanda?
Yes, being a woman, I think that when Alicia and Miss Peggy got elected to city council, I'm not sure if they were the first women.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy to see that because representation means a lot. And having women showing that there are strong women out there that can and will do what's necessary for the good of our own county is amazing. So
I do want to clarify this question. This is asking how you will support women in business. So I want to clarify that in case I was confusing with how I asked it. Okay, Marcus?
Well, Councilwoman Davis has this business that, you know, I like to say I help her with, called Redefine, where she empowers women in business. Most business owners nowadays, especially entrepreneurs, are women in business. So it's important. I think that we have to not only empower but educate young ladies. And I think what Miss Alicia did and Miss Peggy has done in their historic run has given young ladies that look like them a vision to know that they're more than capable of running a successful business as well.
Ryan?
I'm all for it. I mean, if you're qualified and you got the gumption to go do it, go for it. I bet you 100%, whether you're a man, woman, whatever, you know. Simple as that.
Ron?
I think it's real simple. You treat women the same way you treat men. You give them the same opportunity, the same courtesy, same respect. If there's an opportunity out there for a man, you give the same opportunity to a woman. If you back this guy up over here, you back the lady up over there. I mean, it's real simple. It's equal. You don't do something for a guy that you wouldn't do for a female business owner. And some of the smartest people I know right now are women. My wife is sitting out in the audience, and she's way smarter than I am. And when you look at City Hall in Barnwell, the only man in City Hall in Barnwell is Mr. Tom, and they put him upstairs. The rest of everybody downstairs is women, except for Kevin, and they put him out on the baseball field. So, like I said, women, y'all are empowered. Y'all have every opportunity, and if it's not an opportunity and you think you need it, let us know.
Jana?
I'm a woman, so I will support women always. But I do like the mix of having men and women on teams because it kind of grounds both parties and it gives the opinion of both parties. So I'm all for mixing it, having both included, but yes, I will support women business.
Okay. That's everyone. Okay. In 2022, the mayor attempted to create an advisory board made up of local citizens. However, the city council stopped it. What are your thoughts on citizens in advisory roles? This is Jimbo, Ryan, Marcus, Jana, Wanda, and Ron.
The advisory board, I was against it. That's why I'm elected. I think I can make decisions based on what I think's best. When things come up, I call people in the neighborhood, I talk to them, you know, long and short term. I mean, I called Ms. Wanda and I said, please give me some input on this, because it's just not me, it's our city, it's our community. I got a lot of input from a lot of people when we come up there, so it's the way it needs to be. I mean, that's why we're elected, to do that, you know.
Ryan?
Well, piggyback a little bit the same. I mean, I'm an elected official. That's what I'm here for. You know, yeah, the mayor can get advisors, but as far as an advisory board, and there's more to it than the question and all. I'm not going to go far into that, but it was just some things that that board was allowed to do, or was going to be allowed to do, that just didn't set right with council. I mean, I'm looking at that. I mean, we're elected officials for a reason.
Marcus?
I like to kind of use sports for everything. The head football coach at Alabama is considered the greatest football coach ever in NCAA. Even he has an advisory committee that sits up top, gives them information. Where Councilman Still works at, they have an advisory board out there. Barnwell School District 45 has an advisory board. I think the only way that you really get the pulse of your community, you can say you talk to your constituents, et cetera, but you have to give those individuals a voice collectively. So I was all for the advisory board. The advisory board was made up of a diverse group of people. I think it was two or three white males, two or three ladies, and one or two black guys. So everyone was represented. So I just think you got to be able to hear and give everyone a voice, so that way you can make decisions as elected officials, educated decisions.
Jana?
I am for an advisory board. I feel like you should have a member from each district included in it, because I'm a big believer in the fact that I think the city needs to find more ways for resident involvement in regards to discussing issues, and most just want to be heard, and you need their input. It's challenging for residents to attend meetings with their work and home lives, and also to find the time on social media to watch it being streamed. You need to gain their insights, and the city just needs to make that happen. And I'll bring up an instance that I feel like the residents and districts should have been brought into was the vote for the Halloween ordinance. I just feel like that affects the city, all the districts. It also affects county residents. That was something that I feel should have been, there should have been an advisory board or some type of communication in place for that.
Wanda?
Yes, I was for the advisory board because your best look at your community is going to be the people in the community. You can't be all this at one time, and their experience with something may not be the same as somebody else's experience with something. So you get a actual feel for what's going on with your community when you bring in your actual citizens and hear their concerns. If it's given to that advisory board member, you actually get the feel for what's going on in your community that way.
Ron?
I have no problem with the advisory board. The problem with the one that you're talking about, we have in our ordinances, the mayor can have an advisory board. That is not an issue. The issue with this advisory board was when he attached council to it, and that was where I had a problem with it. When you have you pick the advisory board, but then you give them a certain amount of authority, but then you want the council to agree to it without us having any input on it. So as far as the advisory board, I have no problem with it. If the mayor, whoever it will be, wants to have one. In fact, I think we need to have advisory boards on different levels where we can go out and pick people from our community, depending on what, maybe we have a certain project. We need to go get people from our community for that.
Thank you. I know some of you have touched on this in your recent responses to that question, but to dig a little deeper, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process? Ryan, Marcus, Jimbo, Jana, Ron, and Wanda.
That's a good one. I think we need to have some kind of forum, some kind of platform, whether it be on the city halls, or the Long City, what do you call it, website page or whatever. Some kind of thing like that, put out a few months ahead, whether it be for Halloween, put out, some kind of voting poll on the Facebook, newspaper. You have to get the information out there to the citizens, not only, you got to get out there to them enough where you can make a change, or the council can have a vote, whether it be a date change or something of that feature. But, it's pretty hard for an elected official to go out in a month's time that works home life to each constituent and tell them what's going on. It's about impossible. I mean, so whether, social media, the internet, that's this day and age, it's all the information, newspaper, I think that's the best track, best route.
Marcus?
One, I don't think you do that without an advisory committee, without a community advisory committee. Two, I think we need to have quarterly meetings with the community that's open, and just take whatever they give us and then, take the feedback and go from there. But you're gonna have to, people are more involved in things that they're invested in. So you gotta give them some type of say. The community has got to be, you can't say I'm a council member and I know what's best for my constituents. That it just doesn't happen like that. So you gotta hear people out, and if good or bad, and take it in. And I think that having those quarterly meetings will help you make better decisions. And you gotta have some type of advisory committee.
Jimbo?
I agree. The people in the neighborhood, the constituents, I spend a lot of time keeping mine updated, what's going on, and there's got to be a better way than, because I text them, I call them, I email them, at tax time, I say, hey guys, watch your mailboxes, they're being left open, the mask ordinance. I stayed on the phone for 2 days, and we was on vacation. I had one person that didn't want a mask. Halloween, I talked to tons of people, probably, I'll say several hundred people in my area. And every one of them said, I love it, I love it, I love it. School teachers, they loved it. The squatters, we had squatters in our neighborhood. Every time something would happen, I would call and say, hey, this is what's going on. Because that's concerns. So I actually reach out to my constituents, but a quarterly meeting would be fine. That way they could get updated on the city as a whole, but I don't know who's squatting.
Thank you. Jana?
I think that it should be each representative for each district. It should be their job, their duty to reach out to the district or the residents in their district to inform them, whether it's creating a email blast with a newsletter or something. I don't really think that social media is the best way to go, because then you're pulling in opinions, speculation from people who aren't even in your district, who may not even be within the city limits. So I'm not a huge supporter of getting the word out via social media. I do feel that, if I were elected, I would definitely do something to where I would make sure, either by doing a newsletter or doing a small meet and greet, not every month, but maybe bi-monthly or something to that effect, with like a small donation where we could have, some light snacks and drinks, just to meet, just to hear each other's issues, what's going on, relay information to them.
Thank you. Ron?
Well, I think as an elected official, we have a certain responsibility that the people have entrusted us to come up and make certain decisions, that we don't have to contact them on every single thing that we do. That's why they voted us in their stead, was to have confidence in us to speak for them. By the same time, citizens need to be more involved. I look out at our council meetings, and there's 3 or 4 people at the council meeting. People need to come, need to be more involved with what's going on and be a part of it. We work, and we're not able to get out and contact you unless you want us calling you at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then a lot of people will be upset. I don't have a problem with district representatives holding their own meetings within their districts after something comes up. We talk about, we go to them.
Thank you. Wanda?
Yes, I think we could get more people involved, because the way we could is, instead of you have your traditional city council meetings, which are on the first Monday of every month, but most people work, and the time that the meetings start is like 5 to 5:30, somewhere around that time frame. A lot of people are still at work, so you're gonna have low turnout for people coming in to those meetings. So you could have like a town hall on Saturdays. at least one Saturday out of the month, you have a town hall, have people come out, listen, talk about what's going on in the city, what plans you have, and go from there. Everything in person is the best, I think. You know, so everybody doesn't have social media. A lot of older people don't have social media, so that's not gonna be a go-to, and a lot of older people don't know how to use the internet as well. So just face-to-face interaction, talking to your constituents is probably gonna be your best way to go.
Is that a new one? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go into some law and order questions. There is a huge shortage of police officers across the state. How will you incentivize individuals to not just join the police department, but stay? Jana, Ron, Marcus, Jimbo, Wanda, and Ryan.
To get them to stay, they need the appropriate pay range. I know that recently there was an increase, but it could be more. Because that is, you're putting your life on the line. You're getting a lot of hateful rhetoric towards you. It's a very stressful job to have. And these are the people that you're entrusting to make you feel safe. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their house, walking down the street. You know, businesses deserve to feel safe. So I think that that is a starting point. And then also just everyone needs to just treat them with respect and make them feel welcome and needed. And that would make them feel like, okay, this is a job for me. Because if you love your job, you're there. You're going to stay there for life. So.
Ron?
The turnover that we have in our police department is pretty much like every other community, unfortunately. In the world we live in today, police are looked down upon and not many people want to do the job. So we have to entice them and try to get people to come in. And I think one of the ways we can do that is maybe to do a sign-on bonus type deal where we say, you come in, you know, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars starting you off, but we're also going to give you X amount of dollars, and we're going to spread that over the next 3, 4, 5 years in your paycheck. That way, at least they're going to be here working and getting a little extra money. So increasing their pay if possible. Our budget's tight, losing Cascade and Curtis, but you know, on a normal budget year, I think we could probably give our officers a little bit more pay increase. They got take-home cars right now. That's an incentive.
Thank you. Marcus?
This topic here is a little, it's very important for us. During this year, I thought our police chief did a really good job of making sure we cut down turnover. When he took over, we only had 4 officers on duty. The rest had left and did other things. And we got up to 16. One of the things I think that we really got to do is council's got to be council, and we got to allow our department heads to run their departments to the best of their ability. Next thing is we got to have a salary that's competitive with those around us. I know during this year we had council members want to take our officers take home vehicles, right? We put restrictions on mileage, saying that we wouldn't hire anybody outside of a 35-mile or as the crow fly, whatever the usage was. But we got to take those restrictions out of there.
Jimbo?
Our police department, the way, you know, a lot of our things were old. You know, we all met, we think we needed computers. I did ride-alongs with the police department. I was doing 1 a month. We have several cars that did not have radars. They're very bad shape, they're falling apart. And we do give them take-home cars, you know, and that's wear and tear on them, but now we've got new vehicles, we get new computers in there. It's just to see the things that they don't have that we need to update and better pay. Obviously and you know, we gave them a pay this year or last year, and they need more pay for what they do. And you don't realize the stuff that these cops do until you ride along with them. That there's a lot of bad stuff out there, guys. If you ride along, you'll have a different take on them, I promise you.
Wanda?
Yes, main thing is, compensate them. I mean, you got to have competitive wages. Another thing is, one thing I've learned from being in the workforce so long, if somebody feels welcomed or, if you have an inviting, welcoming setting in a job place, people tend to stay. If you don't have hostility or anything like that going on, people tend to stay. I've stayed at my job for like 17 years, always felt welcome. So climate is probably going to be next to compensation. Climate, how you're treated, and all that stuff is main reasons why people never stay at jobs.
Ryan?
Ownership. You got to take ownership of your job, your role. You got to love what you do, and I'm sure police officers, firefighters, they love what they do. If not, they wouldn't be doing it for the price that they get paid. Incentives, we take home vehicles. We just changed the insurance policy to help out the employees. We just give them a pay raise, updating and upgrading their equipment for them to better their job, make it easier for them, as well as the fire department. I'm on the finance committee, and city of Barnwell, we're a small town. You can't pay with so much. And we know that, we realize that, and it's hard. I would love to pay them what a doctor makes, or, whatever, because like everybody said, they risk their lives day in and day out for, pocket change to some people, and it's not worth it. But, it's hard to do everything that everybody wants to be done in a small town, but we're doing our best.
What do you feel is your role when interacting with law enforcement as mayor or council member? And it's Wanda, Ron, Marcus, Jana, Ryan, and Jimbo.
My role would be to listen to any concerns that they have. If you take them seriously, you listen to what they have to say, and that's with any job, make them feel like they matter, you'll probably have better outcomes. And not just, demanding. That's just not good in a workplace or any setting.
Ron?
I'm not sure if you asked me that, since I'm running for mayor or council, but either way, I think it'd be about the same. Listen, support them, and supply them with their needs. That's my role for them in any department. Is if anybody's got a problem, I'm here to listen, bring it to council if I'm the only one they're talking to, support their roles and their needs and their concerns, and with council's approval is to supply whatever their needs or their concerns are, to try to help them meet it. Listen, support, and supply.
Marcus?
I don't interfere with the police when they're doing the job. For one, I don't want to go to jail. So I'm gonna have to agree with Councilman Still. If we can listen and support them, I think I think we'll see that our turnover cuts down tremendously if that's what we're able to do. Listen, support them. I like the part of supply them. I know that I go back to our past chief. They wanted an extra guy, and I think Jimbo knows about this. We're working with almost a $4 million budget, and policing takes up almost half of that budget. So we want to put as many officers out there as possible, but we also got to do what's best for the city. But we got to definitely listen and support them. We definitely do.
Jana?
All of the above, and my main thing is to support them, make them feel supported, give them that safety net.
Ryan?
Like everybody else said, listen, support, supply, I like that. But, as council, we all are on different committees, whether it be the fire, police, park and recs, whatever it is. That really doesn't matter to any of us. If the fire goes to somebody else or the police goes to somebody else, we're all here to listen. We're all here to support. We're all here to help. And the biggest thing, you see them out in the community, speak to them, talk to them, let them know who you are, what you do, thank them for what they do. If it's on the circle or even just in Walmart, walk up to them, just talk to them. They ain't bad people.
And Jimbo?
You listen to their needs. That's one of the committees I'm on. We meet with them every quarter. We sit down with their little command staff, and they tell us what they're up against. They tell us the budget. Hey, we've got to get some more of these. We need more of that. And Alicia and I go back to the council and say, this is some needs of the police department. So it's just like they're saying, you're going to support them, you're going to listen to them, you're going to supply them.
With the departure of the chief of police, there was a federal discrimination complaint filed against the city. As an elected official, how will you create a positive, non-toxic work environment for city employees? Marcus, Jana, Ryan, Ron, Wanda, Jimbo.
One of the first things I told our city administrator when she was hired, and I tell all of our department heads, is we elect you or hire you to do a job, that's your department, you manage it in the best way that you can. And that's how you're gauged. And I stay out of the way from there. The best thing we can do is, again, support them. At some point, we gotta understand that we're all employees, right? Whether it be internal or external. And that means citizens or employees of the city. We gotta be able to support them. Department heads are stressed and underpaid. So the last thing they need is someone sitting over their shoulders micromanaging. Now, if you're not doing the job, you look at the results over a certain amount of time, and then you hold that individual accountable. I think one thing that we really need to implement, and I've been saying this for years, I've told Jimbo and Councilman Davis this, is we really need to have.
Thank you. Jana.
I'm going to agree with everything you said, but also I'm not an elected official. I have not been in that position, so I don't want to speculate on anything, but the gist of it, I do, agree with most of what you said, and that's probably how I would run it if it was elected.
Ryan?
Like the mayor said, we do have department heads for each department in our city, fire, police, correct, park, recs, whatever. They're hired for a reason, to manage the people that's under them and to make sure that the duties are being performed correctly and on time and to the best of their ability. Now, if the department head does have an issue and so, then if he or she can't resolve the problem, then it comes to council, comes to that council member that's over that committee, and we gather together. But as chain of command, you got to let them do their job.
Ron?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you want to micromanage your department heads on a daily basis. They're there to talk to their employees and manage whatever department they're over. At the same time, when I'm elected by the citizens of District 1, and we're a small town, so other people from other districts come up and talk to me, and they got concerns and they got complaints, then regardless of what department it is, I think then, we become the managers. We have to address our citizens' concerns. That's what we're here for. That's one of the things they elected us for. So if we start getting the same concerns and things going on from one department, then we're going to have to talk to that individual and say, hey, what's going on? I think it's just like any other job. You have people that work for certain people in supervisory roles, but at some point, if you're not doing your job, you have to talk to someone.
Thank you. Wanda?
Yes, I would ultimately let that person do their job. I wouldn't interfere unless it was just something that was just totally outrageous that was going on. You have to let people that are managers in their positions do their job. Less interference, the better they're going to do. So, all in all, just let them do their job. I mean, you can't let your personal feelings or anything like that, influence your treatment of the person. Not right.
Jimbo?
You're gonna support them. You're not gonna micromanage them. You're gonna let them manage to the best of their ability. When you have issues and people complain about things, you need to bring it up to them. You need to bring it up to the community. You need to bring it up to the council. It's just as things arise, things that should happen. We talk to them about it, we can bring it to the council and talk about it. It's just, you address your issues.
All right, we're going to kind of shift topics a little bit to more like miscellaneous questions. In recent years, nonprofits have had to address the feral cat overpopulation, and just last year, there were multiple attacks of vicious groups of dogs. How do you plan to combat this problem? And it's Wanda, Ron, Marcus, Jana, Jimbo, and Ryan.
Not quite an elected official, but I guess ways that you could combat that is to have some type of animal control position for that. I don't know if the budget allows for that for the city or not, but just somebody who is in charge of just dealing with animal cases. Maybe at a part-time, full-time, I'm not sure how that would work.
Ron?
On the cat issue, we have Ms. Barbara Christensen in the audience tonight, and she has brought and started a TNVR program to help with the cats. So that part of it. As far as the dogs and other animals, we have, Jimbo and I have been, and Ryan as well, been wanting to try to get an animal control officer. We got one. He quit, whatever, and went to another area. We're looking for, right now, to hire an animal control officer. There's been a lot of debate over this in our meetings because a few of the people on our council did not want to fund this position by saving money. But animal control officer is important for, especially in the fact that we had 2 ladies that were attacked. So that is very important. I've seen a lot of dogs here running around since we don't have one. And also we need a new animal shelter to help put these dogs in a place.
Thank you. Marcus?
I agree as far as utilizing the resources we have here locally. We do have some individuals that are very passionate about the controlling of the feral cats and things of that nature, such as Ms. Christian. I feel that Officer Gant did a great job when he was in that role and position where the city is now financially. If I could afford an extra officer, it would be a street officer. Our crime, as you guys alluded to earlier, is up, right? Right now, we're attacking or addressing this issue as a whole, as a unit. Just the other day, my neighbor, I called the animal control or the cops for a dog that was in our neighborhood. It took about 2 minutes, and you know who picked the dog up? The cop pulled up, I picked the dog up, and I put him in the back of the truck, and they were gone in less than 2 minutes. So I think that we can do it holistically as a unit. But is it an issue? Yes, I agree.
Thank you. Jana?
Definitely do need to put somebody in that position in animal control. I know that the person who was there that did quit, there were reports by several people in our neighborhood that had issues with animals, and you had to call that individual like 3 to 6 times just to get them to actually respond, and it was not a prompt response either, and they weren't out there in a timely fashion. So that being said, the next person that takes the animal control position, when one does become available, they definitely need to be held accountable and make sure that they are, they have a prompt response for things like this.
Jimbo?
The TNVR is working very well. That's with the cats. The animal control officer, we hired one before. He stayed for a little while and he left. You go with the class 4 officer there. That way, he's not only doing the animal control, but he can help with crimes. He can help with traffic. He's a normal officer. He hopes he can arrest. He can do everything as everybody else can do. That's one of the most overlooked jobs out there. They say you have to have a special heart to do this job. It's just like Miss Rose, another lady that got bid up. It's going to cost us $74,000 a year for total pay for this animal control officer. But tell Miss Rose then that she's not worth $74,000.
Amen.
Ryan?
Yeah, it's a much needed position. and the position is there, on the police budget, it's there. Called me in, we've talked about it, it's hard to find someone that wants to do that. And like they said, a class 4 that's gonna do all of it, but really need somebody that's just gonna focus on that, and it's difficult to do. And it also comes down to the owners of these animals to keep them locked up, own runners in their yard, in the gates, make sure you're aware of where your animals are at, but also you understand that there's animals that are out there just roaming around, and yeah, it's a dog attack it's a bad thing. I was bit in the thigh as a young boy by a rottweiler, but it happens and you can't prevent it all, but you have to do what you can while you can, and finding a police officer or an animal control officer. We're looking, but nobody wants the position.
All right. There is a clear racial divide in Barnwell. Give specific ways that you plan to bridge the gap and improve race relations. Ron, Wanda, Jimbo, Marcus, Jana, and Ryan.
Well, as I said earlier, we were talking about priorities, and unity was the first thing I said that we need to do. I've been talking with some individuals expressing the same thing that your question is talking about, the racial divide. And the first thing is, we've got to be willing to go into each other's communities and have that conversation. And I have a group of African-American friends of mine that have told me, and said, look, if you're serious about this, we'll go with you. And I am serious about it. We could go into each other's churches. This racial thing that's going on in our country, it's got to stop. Like I said, we can't move forward if we got people pulling against one another and pointing at one another and calling each other names. And people call you names, they don't even know who you are. They have never really taken time to know you. And God created each of us.
Thank you. Wanda?
Yes, we need to have open dialogue. The biggest problem I think people have is people have misconceptions about people. Most people just look at someone and just assume they're a certain way, and that's not always the case. It's all about getting uncomfortable and actually just talking to people, finding out why they feel this way, why do you feel this way, what can we do to make this better? It is a hot topic, and a lot of people don't like to discuss it or talk about it, but there comes a time when you have to do it. And the only way we're gonna get past this is to actually have an open dialogue and just, talk, listen, try to see things from someone else's perspective and not just yours, so.
Jimbo?
It's unity, we need to all get together, it can be several different things up at Fuller Park. Just have a big meeting. It's just like Ms. Wanda said, you're gonna have to get real uncomfortable with this thing and just see your needs and your wants of every race out there and go from there and address them. I think that's gonna be the best way to do this thing.
Marcus?
Lead by example. Period. When I was first elected, I can't tell you how many times people rolled up and called people in-words or in-lovers, etc. And lead by example. You got people wanting to be in leadership positions, but they don't lead by example. So we got to do a better job of leading by example. Our youth see us, and our youth do what we do. They go as we go. So lead by example.
Jana?
I totally agree with that. Also, just cease any divisive rhetoric. Just don't talk about it, don't bring it up. There doesn't need to be any divisive retort whatsoever. Love one another, just stop being ugly to each other, have civil, constructive conversations, and like he said, just lead by example and stop assuming, things about each other, or stop assuming what the other person is doing. Because like I said, we've all got to work together for the common good of Barnwell to get things done for everyone.
Ryan?
That's a good question. You see it everywhere you go, a lot of it, you're raising. It's the mindset, it's the home body, it's, what happens at the house. I would love to see a change. I would love everybody just to come together as one for the community, for the city, not only just for that, but for them, Like Ron said, God created us all, we're all equal. It's not him, it's not her, it's not black and white, it's everyone together. To do that, this day and age, to be honest with you, I think that'd be real difficult. Everybody's set in their ways, but you gotta have an open mindset. You gotta be willing to accept everyone. I mean, we go to church, we got Jamaicans, we got everybody at our church. I mean, you welcome everybody, you have to. You can't look at somebody because they're different, their skin or their height or whatever it is. And you gotta start to get back to, get rid of it.
Thank you.
Start back in the home with kids.
The next question will be our final question, and you will have 3 minutes to answer. This is your time to answer the question, and also if there's anything you want to add that you wish you could have said throughout, this is the time to do it. So the final question is, what is your vision for the next 4 years of Barnwell? You have it changed to 3 minutes? Okay. Marcus, you're first.
To inspire our youth. I think the first election was a historic election. We talked about the racial divide. I think it showed our community how far we've come as a community, but it's also shown us how much more we have to go. My vision for Barnwell is to be a vibrant community. I love to see our housing development take off with, like I said, the additions of time and company. But I like to see our recreation being utilized more and built. But the biggest thing for me is to make sure that individuals know, regardless if I'm re-elected mayor or not, I've been doing this work that I've been doing since I've been back here from college. I can live anywhere in the country if I wanted to, but I choose to live here in Barnwell, and I choose to raise my kids here. So I'm gonna continue to make a difference either way.
Okay. Jana?
My hopes is to build trust in our residents, especially parents of young children. I'd like for the families to feel confident that as their children grow to adulthood, that there will always be a place for them to live and thrive in Barnwell. I also, want to thank the Chamber for putting this on and everyone that participated. I applaud you for participating. Wish everyone the best. I'd also like to respectfully ask the residents of District 6 for their vote. And I do have to, I promised my 4-year-old daughter that I would say hello to her on camera because she thinks I'm on TV. So I'll just end with that. Hey, Callan. Hey, Hollis.
Jimbo?
My vision, just the community involvement, the community, it's just to get everybody involved with everything that's going on. The future of Barnwell, a lot of this stuff is going to be at the Scat Park with the sewer line, the water line going there. If we don't have that, we're gonna lose everything in Barnwell. We're gonna be very small businesses with no future. And right here is some of my stuff that I have written down in my little pamphlet. It's just, I'm experienced, dependable, trustworthy, honest. I have proven leaderships. I love Barnwell. My family's been here, my grandparents have been here. I'm gonna retire here, I'm gonna stay here. Now we need to get our youth back here. That's our future. If we don't have youth, we don't have a future, guys.
Ryan?
My vision for Barnwell for the next 4 years, continue to upgrade, update Barnwell. I would love to see, everything being utilized, like it was in the olden days. I mean, everybody just loved one another. Everybody got along. I would also like to see all the dilapidated buildings, the old businesses, homes, either renovated or tore down. So we have an open space for realty, whether it be homes or commercial properties. We're updating our fire department, first time ever. They're getting a brand new facility after, the old one, of course. Police department's been done, those kind of changes. It's a big need, it's a big want, and I would love to be a part of it, love to continue to serve my constituents in District 6, not only them, but anybody in the city. If you see me out and about, you need something, want to know something, ask. I can tell you. If I don't know it, I can find it out for you. I'm a citizen of Barnwell. I've lived here all my life, graduated high school, met my wife there. We're high school sweethearts, got 4 kids. Plan on raising them here. Don't plan on going anywhere. So.
Ron?
A couple things, but real quick, I want to talk about rebuttal, not really a rebuttal, but the bookworm, just so everyone knows that the city has reached out to the owners and we're trying to get responses back. So we're working on that eyesore. We're just waiting on the response. And the other thing I want to talk about, just real briefly, is it was made mention that we reduced where the officers could live, 35 miles radius. We're spending $70,000 a year in gas for our police department alone. So we've got to do something to be good stewards of the taxpayer money and try to make sure we have safety for our community. I remember growing up here in Barnwell. Barnwell was a thriving little small town. Man, we had industry, we had small business, everything was going well. And I personally think that if we could get back to that level, we got to revitalize our downtown area. We got to keep that small town feel, but we got to continue working with the SCA, the EDC, Barnwell County Council, and get industry in. We talked a lot tonight about small businesses, and I love small businesses. However, those businesses will not survive if we don't have industry in our community. They will fall off like dead leaves. So in order for us to support the small businesses, we have to get industry into this area. I'd like to thank the Chamber for sponsoring this event tonight. Thank everyone that came, all of those watching on Facebook. I grew up here. I am 100% a Barnwellian. I was even born in the Barnwell Hospital. And my family, my father retired from the city of Barnwell Water Department. My grandfather worked for the fire department and the waste treatment facility. And I spent many a night in that fire department and rode Big Bertha in the parades. So I feel like not only am I a citizen, but I feel like I'm part of the internal part of the city of Barnwell. And I know what it can be. I've seen it, I've lived it. And I know that we can get back to that with the right leadership and the right vision. That's why I'm asking the city of Barnwell, all the citizens, on November 7th, come out, cast your vote for me for this position of mayor. We could get our city back to the level it once was, even better. I really believe that. We got the citizens here to do it. We just got to unify ourselves together. We got to come together as a community, and we can make this happen. But if we don't come together, our city will continue to fall apart, and it's going to get worse.
Thank you. Ms. Wanda?
Yes, I'm a lifelong resident of Barnwell. Raised my kids here. Parents are still here. Well, one of them, my mom's still here. My dad lives now. But my vision for Barnwell, I want Barnwell to be a united front. I would like to see the citizens come together and just, talk about their differences, work their differences out, because it's a lot of hostility here now. Didn't used to be. So with that attitude, I think a lot of people look at what's going on in Barnwell and they decide not to, come here, or they don't want to open a business here because of all of this back and forth you have with the citizens and all this other stuff. So the biggest thing is just to be a vibrant, welcoming community, open to all industries, and just, love each other.
Well, that concludes our evening. Thank y'all so much for participating, and thank y'all so much for coming. Y'all have a wonderful night.